escalate situations. They know when they tear families apart, when they rip apart mothers who are breastfeeding their children, when they take fathers away from their newborns and kids, when they rip apart families, people get pissed off. That's what ICE wants to happen. That's why they're targeting the hardworking Latino communities here in Los Angeles and throughout the country. And then they're talking about, we're going to liberate you. Let's just be clear. As I said, we don't mince words here. Donald Trump is a racist, okay? Donald Trump wants to deport the black and brown people and bring in the white people. It's really as simple as that, okay? He wants to get rid of the Cubans, who if you think Donald Trump likes you, he doesn't, okay? He hates you. The Venezuelans, you think he likes you? He doesn't. He hates you. Whether it's the Venezuelans, the Cubans, the Colombians, the Haitians, Mexicans, I can go on and on and on. He wants them gone. Why? Because he's racist. It's the color of their skin. He doesn't like you because of that. You know who he wants to bring in? The Afrikaners. The white Afrikaners from South Africa, where Trump will say they're the victims of a genocide in South Africa, which is not happening. Trump will bring in the president of South Africa, President Ramaphosa. By the way, President Ramaphosa from South Africa brings in the white Afrikaner agriculture minister and says, hey, Donald, go ask the white Afrikaner agriculture minister who's in my government from the opposing party if there's a genocide. You think he would be here if there was a genocide? You think I'd have the white Afrikaner agriculture minister if he was being genocided? What the hell are you talking about? And the people of South Africa and across the world are looking at this guy like he's an idiot. But that's what Trump wants. I think there's a name for that. I think it's called the replacement theory. And I think that's what they want. Again, I'm not going to mince words here. It seems pretty obvious that that's their freaking plan. By the way, Donald Trump was falling all over himself yesterday. You saw this where he fell. Here's a photo of it. He fell walking up to Air Force One as he was heading to Camp David. Here's a photo of it. Here's a video of it. Let's play the clip. And then late last night, Donald Trump posted, looking really bad in LA. Then he puts in all caps, bring in the troops. Bring in the troops, as Yashar Ali says. Is that an order? Is that a suggestion? What the hell is happening to America right now? Bring in the troops? And I think, by the way, after Donald Trump fell, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was told that he had to fall so that Donald Trump would not look as stupid. So Marco Rubio fell at the exact same spot so that he can make Donald Trump feel like, oh, we all fall. Literally, watch this. Watch Rubio play this clip. Now, who is it that warned us all about this? Who was the person that told us that this was going to happen? It's as if we were given the evidence by, I don't know, someone like former Vice President Kamala Harris, but the corporate media refused to focus on it when we focused on it all the time here on the Midas Touch Network. Just watch what former Vice President Kamala Harris said. This is from October 23rd, 2024, after Donald Trump's former generals came out and said that Donald Trump said that he wanted the types of military generals that Adolf Hitler had. Trump wanted those Hitler generals, is what he said. And former Vice President Kamala Harris addressed the nation, but no one listened. Play the clip.
Yesterday, we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him. He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within, and even said that he would use the United States military to go after American citizens. And let's be clear about who he considers to be the enemy from within. Anyone who refuses to bend a knee or dares to criticize him would qualify, in his mind, as the enemy within, like judges, like journalists, like nonpartisan election officials. It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is. This is a window into who Donald Trump really is, from the people who know him best.
Well, you listened, we listened. Are you listening now? Are you listening now? Here's the Los Angeles Police Department chief, and here he talks about how the feds made things very difficult on the LAPD the other day. Play this clip.
LAPD was not given advance notice that the federal operations would occur in that area. As a result, we were not pre-positioned to respond immediately to unrest related to those actions. Once the call for assistance came in, LAPD responded within 38 minutes. And that sounds like a long time, but I'll tell you why that is. The response was impacted by traffic, crowd density in the area with unrest occurring, hazardous conditions caused by tear gas that was previously deployed by federal agents at the...
While all of this is going on, you have a real leader, President Zelensky, who's fighting for the survival of his country. I just want you to think about the contrast here. You have Donald Trump sending the National Guard against Americans, activating the Marines against Americans, and then you have President Zelensky in Ukraine fighting for the survival of his country, as Vladimir Putin sends drones and ballistic missiles on a daily basis, killing innocent Ukrainians. And President Zelensky, while all this was going on, was on ABC, and he addressed America. Here's what he said earlier yesterday. Play this clip.
Trump this week comparing it to two children fighting in a park.
Sometimes you see two young children fighting like crazy. They hate each other and they're fighting in a park. And you try and pull them apart. They don't want to be pulled. Sometimes you're better off letting them fight for a while and then pulling them apart.
President Zelensky strongly refuting that notion. We are not playing in the park with the Russians like two boys, two kids. Putin is not a kid, Zelensky said, describing him as a maniac. So we can't compare, and we cannot say, okay, let them fight for a while. Zelensky adding, and it's not about President Trump. Anyone living thousands of miles away can't fully understand the pain. Even parents who live in Ukraine cannot feel the pain of those who lost their children. The president telling the story of a man who lost his wife and 3 children in a missile strike, who told Zelensky, every morning I'm just looking for my family. I am looking everywhere in the flat. I still feel that it was a nightmare. I go outside, I see a father who holds his little girl's hand, and the girl is just like my dead daughter. I feel physical pain. I can't do anything about it. It is limitless. That's why we are not kids at the playground, Zelensky says, adding, Putin is a murderer who came to the park to kill kids. It is something Zelensky says he has tried to convey to President Trump, but the relationship between the two has been tumultuous.
You know, and just to think about while all this was taking place, Donald Trump was at a UFC fight. Look at him. At a UFC fight, you see Ivanka behind him and Jared Kushner. You see them, take a look at Kushner and them. They're laughing at you. They're laughing at you. They live in their $30 million mansions. They're laughing at you because they're taking advantage of you. They lied to you. They think it's funny. They think you're a joke. That's the truth. That's the truth. And the you is everybody other than their little crew at Mar-a-Lago. and for the Latinas for